My Apple Podcast, your personal connection to everything Apple. Hi everyone, Tim Brown. Welcome back to another episode of My Apple Podcast. For this episode, I want to feature VideoShop. It's a video editor for iOS, that is for the iPhone and the iPad. And right now it is at the top of the charts. And why is that? I'm going to show you in a moment. Let's take a look at VideoShop. I'm going to show you a screenshot here on my iPhone. I'm going to begin by importing some content into my project from my camera roll, and I already have some content set up. Great, so here's all my content inside VideoShop. Right now I have some photos and videos that I created with the Matter app, which I covered during my previous episode. And I'm going to walk you through all the features so you can see exactly how this app works. It's pretty amazing. Let's start up top. So you can see all the thumbnails of the content that I just imported into my project. I have some photos and videos. And you're also going to notice these markers up above. That's what makes this app so practical. So the first marker that you see is for Vine, which is 6 seconds. So if you're planning on creating something for Vine, this is a great way to structure your video in accordance with that particular app. Likewise, if you're in the Snapchat, 10 seconds, you have a marker for that. And then Instagram is 15 seconds. And I haven't quite arrived at that marker, but you can set that standard as well. And I'm going to show you how you do that in the settings. So let's start at the bottom. So I'm going to scroll over and start with all the icons on the bottom, starting from the right. Okay, so the first icon on the bottom right is delete. That's pretty straightforward. It's a trash can, so anything you can delete from your timeline, that's the icon that you want to use. So with an item selected on the timeline, hit trash can, and then you hit yes if you want to delete it, or hit no if you want to keep it. Next is the settings icon. Settings is very important because this is how you set up your project, whether you want landscape, portrait, or square. I'm of course working in a square mode, so I'm going to stick with that format. However, if I decided to change it, say if I chose landscape and click done, all of a sudden my square is now inside a square format. If I go back to settings, for example, and choose enable white widescreen, it's going to add a white background to that rectangular landscape format, where you can clearly see my square video inside. Now I don't want to do that, so I'm going to go back and just keep my square format, and I'll continue down with some of the other options here. You can control the duration of your photos. You can add auto hashtags when you post your project. And of course, you can show markers for Instagram, Vine, and Snapchat. So this app is very practical, especially if you're really into social media and you like posting video online. Let's continue on down the line. One feature that I really like is this tilt shift option, because tilt shift basically enables you to control the focus. Now, I'm just working with these sort of futuristic objects. I don't really need to control the focus for anything, but if you have a portrait or you're trying to focus on a particular object in, say, a room or something, that's where this feature really comes in. So if you select tilt shift, you'll see you have radial and linear options. So with radial selected, I can pinch and zoom with my fingers and then move that selection around with my fingers, with 2 fingers on screen, to control where I want that focus to be. It's really that simple. Click done if you want to use it. I'm not going to use it, but it's a really nice feature to have. Now next to tilt shift is rotate. You can rotate any object on your timeline. Just select it and then select rotate. And you can just rotate it as many times as you want until you're happy with the position that you have. This is a really nice option to have too. You can get very creative when you have these kinds of tools at your disposal. You can also resize too. So in this case, resizing for me would be pinching and zooming into my project if I wanted to do that. Otherwise, I would just go to settings and just change it to portrait or landscape. That's another way to resize. Next to resize is display. This is basically your adjustment tools. You can control the brightness of your images or video clips. You can control the contrast. You can control the hue, which is the part I really like. I like being able to change the colors of things just spontaneously like that. I can control the saturation here. I can also control the vibrance. And then you can also control the shadows, whether you want to make them lighter or darker. It's really nice to have all these options. It's amazing, quite frankly, that all these features are built into this app in such a compact sort of way. Also, you can select reverse if you want your video to play in reverse. For example, if I did this right now, essentially what it does is it duplicates your clip and then plays it the other direction. I don't want to use that, so I'm going to go back to my delete icon and just get rid of that. Likewise, next to the reverse icon is the copy icon. It does exactly the same thing, but just copies the exact same clip that you have rather than reversing it. And you can see another copy showed up right away. I'm going to go ahead and delete that one as well. And right next to the copy icon is the transition icon. And the transition icon is probably my best feature. And it comes with a wide range of options too. You can see transition icons already that I plugged into the first 4 images. So when I select one of those transition icons and then select the transition effect icon, you can see here I have about 10 options here. You can flash to black, flash to white, fade to black, fade to white. You can cross fade, you can slide left, slide up, slide down. You can shrink in or expand out or grow. So these are really nice options to have for transitions. And what's going to happen is whenever you add a transition, the duration of your image or video clip is going to be shortened just a tad when you add a transition, but that's to be expected. So just to show you what that looks like, I'm going to go ahead and just play back very quickly the 4 images that I have set up so you can see what the slide left looks like. Pretty cool. Now next to transitions is also slow. Slow is an icon that enables you to adjust the speed of your video. So for example, if I choose one of my videos and select slow, you can see here on the top, I can choose to scroll left to make it go slower or scroll right to make it go faster. And this will help with controlling the time limit of your video as well. I use that tool all the time because when you're creating short videos, let's face it, you're going to have to control the speed and you're going to need that flexibility. And that's what makes this app so great. You can also add sound. Really great option. You can add music from your own library, or you can add music and sound effects from the libraries that come with VideoShop, which is really cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually scroll over to the very beginning, and I'm going to go probably at the beginning of my second clip, and I'm going to go ahead and insert some sound. I'm actually going to use my own music because I have some soundtracks in a library that I have set up, and I'm just going to go ahead and add this groove sound track that I have here. I'm just going to go ahead and play it a little bit so you can hear what it sounds like. And then I'm going to add fade in and fade out and then drop it into my project. And as you can see here, the sound was added right in that location where I wanted it to appear. Why? Because I didn't want the music to start right away because I want to add something else. That brings us to our next menu item, and that is trim. So trim basically enables you to control the length of your video clip. So if I choose a video clip and then select trim, I can then go in and then control how much of that clip I want to play. I'm going to leave everything the same for now. Now next to trim is the voice icon. With voice, you can actually narrate over your project. So for example, if I go to the beginning, I'm just going to say My Apple Podcast. And that's going to occur right at the very beginning where I have my marker set. So I'm going to select voice, hit record, My Apple Podcast. Stop, hit done. And now that was inserted right at the very beginning of my clip. So I have my voice, and then I have music coming in shortly after that. And now I'm going to go ahead and add some title text, which is the next option in the bottom left. So I'm going to select that and I'm going to double tap, and I'm going to add the words Matter Mix. Since I created a bunch of images using the Matter app, I want to highlight what that is exactly. So I'm going to choose a nice cool little font, and you can see here you have several font options to choose from, actually more than several, and a bunch of colors to choose from as well. And once you choose the font that you want to use and the color, just click done, and now that has been inserted as well. And what's really nice about VideoShop is these little icons that appear up above enable you to keep track of exactly where everything is. So if I was to go back to the very beginning and play all that back for you, you can see how all of them come together as the transitions and everything come into effect. My Apple Podcast. Pretty cool. If I play it all the way through, you can see that I added some video clips at the end to show you animated versions of the photos. And then in the end, I end with a little collage. And so that's my way of showing off Matter and also showing off my creativity. But those are all the features that are built into VideoShop. It's pretty fantastic, but I haven't showed you everything yet. For example, if I click next, it's going to compile everything that I've done, and it's going to take me to the next phase. During the next phase here, you can also add filters to your video if you want to do that. And as you can see here, there are a range of options to choose from. So now I can add a little mood to my project if I felt that was appropriate. But I'm going to choose none for now because I don't really want to choose filters. You can add titles, you can add your name as an author, and add place and date and so forth. But you can also choose themes. That's right, this app comes with themes, and if you want to give your video a kind of a signature look based on a theme, you have a nice range of options to choose from. So I'm just going to go through and just tap on each one so you can get an idea of what are the range of options you have at your disposal here. Pretty amazing, and it all comes built into the app. It looks very professional when it's done as well. I mean, you got to really appreciate that. I'm not going to go with any themes or filters, but had to show you that because, wow, what a great feature to have, right? Okay, I'm done. I'm ready to export my project. Hit the save button, and you can see here you have low, medium, or high resolution options, and you can save to all your social media sites, including your photo library. So that is VideoShop, and it's one of the most popular apps in the App Store. And I hope that this little review was helpful. And if you haven't tried it, maybe now you will. This is Tim Brown. Thanks for tuning in for another episode of My Apple Podcast. You can check me out at myapplepodcast.com or check me out at youtube.com/myapplepodcast. See you later.